Hello everyone. Due to many requests from dozens and dozens of you asking me, pleading with me to release this particular episode on YouTube open to all, I'm going to go ahead and fulfill these polite, nice, well-intentioned requests. However, I want to emphasize, although I'm doing this, I do not support YouTube. I have never relied upon YouTube as a platform for my reporting, and I encourage those of you who are interested in media with integrity, independent media platforms not dependent upon the deep state agenda and their channels, come and join me and support NewsBud and or my new community at Patreon. Thank you all, and now I'm going to go ahead and open this episode because of all the requests I have been getting from you. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you all. This is Sibel Edmonds reporting from Southwest Florida. Just like Obama, Biden has been promoting and marketing himself as the anti-war candidate. Well, this is a two-part series. In this particular part, I'm going to present how the mainstream media unanimously have been basically making Biden's real track records on interventions, wars, regime change, and also coup, poof, vanish. In the next episode, I will be talking about how and why the media is doing this. I'm going to talk about who are the groups behind these mainstream media publications presenting a war candidate, a hawkish record as anti-war. Additionally, I'm going to talk about Biden's track record on government transparency and also government whistleblowers. Yes, you are not going to hear anything from the mainstream media on Biden's real track records, all factual, all dated. I'm going to present that as anti-government transparency and anti-government whistleblowers. Both episodes are currently running at NewsBud, also via my new community Patreon. It takes only a few seconds to join. I have provided the links for you above in the description section. And as always, I'm going to emphasize I'm not a YouTuber. I have never been a YouTuber. I have about several thousand people who support me, independent journalism, media with integrity, not tainted by all sorts of partisanships or nefarious foundations and money behind the scenes. Thank you all. This is Sibel Edmonds reporting from Southwest Florida, and let's talk about right now on every single facts deleted, erased, censored by the mainstream media on the real Biden presidential candidate. Okay, a few days back, I came across this article by Al Monitor, and I'm going to include the link in the description section of this post for this report. And here is the title of the article they published. What are Biden's Mideast positions? Again, I'm going to provide you with the link, so I won't spend too much time reading excerpts from this article on presidential candidate Biden, Joe Biden. Well, it got my attention right away. Why? This article, first of all, says Biden is pretty much anti-war. Sure, they give a couple of examples. They say, oh yeah, he voted for war against Iraq, even though later on he regretted it. But other than that, his record has been pretty solid as non-interventionist and anti-war candidates, and that his slogans pretty much match Obama's slogans before he became president, as not being hawkish and as a candidate who wants to end wars. I read the article twice and it was laughable. It was laughable how boldly, how shamelessly they went about censuring all of the records, track records Biden has had as a vice president, okay, on all these interventions, wars, regime changes, and yes, even a coup. There is, believe me or not, I mean, I know some of you are going to laugh out loud, there is not even a single mention of Libya. You know Libya, the currently disastrous Libya, the Libya war designed by Clinton, Obama, Biden administration? Yes, that Libya war. According to the mainstream media, and you can actually go and look at all the latest articles by the New York Times, especially since the Democratic Convention and his superb so-called superb speech, Biden, and you will not find any reference really to Libya. Biden was there, right there at the forefront. When Obama and right next to him and Biden, they declared that we were starting this war against Gaddafi in Libya and we were bringing in our wonderful partners, NATO war machine, to go and attack this country and install the best democracy. Well, they did half of that. They did bring in their partners, their filthy partners from NATO. They did attack Libya. They did start the war, and to do only one thing, to completely destroy Libya, bring about fertile grounds for chaos, genocidal operations, and practically non-stop internal war in Libya. But Biden, it has nothing to do with Biden, according to the mainstream media. In fact, whenever they refer to Obama, they actually fail to remember that major war intervention, Libya. Then these articles start praising Obama administration and with it Biden, saying that, well, Obama kept his promise. Obama and Biden, they brought our troops back from Iraq and basically ended the war status. And then there is a little however. However, due to ISIS popping up, being created, and starting these terror operations, Biden and Obama were forced to, they were forced to take the troop back to Iraq, back to the occupation status. Again, it is laughable, not in a real ha-ha way. Who created ISIS? Yes, in order to give lip service, Obama-Biden administration, just for show, temporarily, they brought in our troops back, most of them, from Iraq, And this didn't go down well with the military-industrial complex. But Obama and Biden, they said, hold on a second, This is temporary. Clinton, Obama, and Biden then went about putting together their trained ISIS, which they had been working on, in Turkey, in these camps, and they brought in all these jihadis from Afghanistan, from Chechnya, etc., into Turkey, training them, arming them, sending them into Syria, and yes, starting all this turmoil with their ISIS in Iraq so that they can take our troops back into, yes, Iraq. But no, this is not the narrative they are selling. And they don't care because they know most people have either no memory or a very, very short memory, or practically they don't give a damn about facts because facts are irrelevant. Facts have been irrelevant when it comes to journalism, mainstream journalism, and 99.9% of the alternative reporting done by these little NGO larvas who are receiving grants from who? Rockefeller Foundations, George Soros, Bill Gates, etc., etc. Okay, so that's for Libya. They totally leave out Syria. Hello? Who created Syria chaos? Who created Syria war? Joe Biden, okay, Obama, and Clinton. They created ISIS. They started, and they actually declared, they said they wanted regime change. They wanted to see Assad gone, just like the way they did it with Libya, with Gaddafi. They had exactly the same scenario, the same plan, the same strategy for Syria. In addition to all the other components being in common, in addition to it, they had ISIS mechanism built into it to go and topple Assad's government and install their own regime. And they were going to do this with their partners, Turkey and Jordan, etc. They don't mention it. Syria never happened. Obama had nothing to do with Syria. Clinton and Biden, the entire administration, with Biden, the vice president, that's not on Biden's record. It's not even in Obama's record, according to the mainstream media. Okay, that is for Syria. That is for Iraq, creating ISIS, taking the troop back, and go back to the occupation status in Iraq. That is for Libya. None of these had anything to do with Biden. They didn't happen. Go and go look at it. Please show me. Anything from whether Al Monitor or New York Times or NPR, they never mentioned these wars. These are the ones I have just listed here, actual wars, okay? These are not sanctions. These are not indirect wars. These are not some indirect support to some country that has a direct or indirect war against the country. No. These are bold intervention, hawkish, imperialistic wars we are talking about here. And most importantly, not only via conventional warfare, in the case of Syria and again Iraq, we are looking at wars via creating, directing, funding terrorists. And have your terrorist Biden, your terrorist Obama, your terrorist Clinton going and implementing their objectives and their bosses' objectives in Syria. Check them out. You won't see it. I'm going to put this link to Al Monitor's new articles, and you're going to see that the only war that Biden regretfully had little bit something to do with was the 2002 during George Bush, Dick Cheney's Iraq war. That's what they do, people. That's what they have been doing. Not only that, Biden, Obama, Clinton trio, they also concocted this coup plans for Turkey to topple Recep Tayyip Erdogan's administration. Whether you like him, whether you don't like him, it's irrelevant. We are talking about the facts. If you go and look at all the official statements from the government, from the nation, from their mainstream media, you will see, and they list the people involved, okay, even if you were to believe 1% of it, they are directly putting all these people, all the motivations, all the direct links to Obama, Clinton, Biden administration. They had regime change plans for Turkey. And in my previous episode, I showed you this video where Joe Biden actually admits, and he says he will do it again. And he's actually laying out his plan. What is he saying? He's saying that, well, by directly and indirectly supporting opposition forces and groups and factions in Turkey, we can get rid of the current democratically elected, okay, however it is over there, government, the current president there, Erdogan. He's saying it. How non-interventionist is that? But it gets even more ludicrous than that, okay? How can it get more ludicrous? This is how. I mean, this is just incredible. Not only the media is putting all these track records aside, erasing it, making it poof, hocus pocus, vanish, okay? Making them all go away, they never existed, and if you say they don't exist, they don't exist. Whatever media says is the fact, is the reality, no matter how grand of a lie it is. They actually put this tilt and saying Biden is set as a candidate, if he becomes president, to end Donald Trump's hawkish policies and wars. Say that again. I'm sorry, I'll have to say it again. Because I was using much more flowery language when I saw that in all these articles. He's set to end Donald Trump's hawkish wars. What wars? Show me. I'm not talking about, there are some people from the left saying, oh, well, he put sanction and he was supporting the coup in Bolivia. I'm talking about wars. They are using the word war, okay? All these wars he has started. What war? Not only that, he basically pulled out most of the troops, okay, from that Syria region. According to him, he basically ended ISIS. I mean, ISIS, since Trump took office, they haven't been very active there. For whatever reason, maybe it's because Obama and Biden and Clinton, they are not there to directly support them. What hawkish policy? Even with North Korea, things kind of were handled, whether you like it or you don't like it, okay? Look, sanctions which cause harm to countries, okay? Let's say sanctions on Iran. Am I against those sanctions? Yes, especially for countries that have not presented any threat to us. And they haven't, okay? You may disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. I have lived in Iran. I have been totally following what Iran has been doing since the revolution in 1979. I know what Iran does. Do they do some support of Palestinian groups or Hezbollah? Sure. But do they, Iranians, do they present direct threat to the United States? Absolutely not. Deep inside, including the government, do they actually want to have normalized relationship with the United States and engage in commerce? Absolutely yes. So I am against the sanctions, yes. But those of you on the left who are watching this, are you going to tell me that you are comparing, let's say, what Obama, Biden, and Clinton did, okay, what they did in Syria, resulting in over 5 million refugees, 3.5+ million of them are in Turkey. 3.5 million refugees, okay? These people who have lost their homes, they have lost their livelihoods, they have lost loved ones, and they have been dragging themselves out of that war-torn, destroyed nation, trying to find a home and living like, I can't describe. The ones who are living in Turkey, the ones who are living in Greece, in these camps, it's not shown enough the misery associated with that. Being a refugee, war refugee. 1+ million went to Lebanon. Another 500,000 all across Europe, okay? That's factual number. That is only the refugees number. Over 5 million created by Biden, Clinton, Obama, serving their deep state bosses, the military-industrial complex, okay? The energy companies, the mega energy companies, the financial institutions. And how about the number of deaths? Hundreds of thousands. Injured? More than that. The number of homes, buildings destroyed? Bombed, leveled, okay? So don't please come back to me and say, oh, it's the same. They're putting sanctions. Sure, it starves the country. Not starving really to death, but it's horrible economic hardship. I'm against that, unless some nation deserves. I haven't seen one yet, okay? I haven't. But don't go comparing and saying, oh, look what you did with this over there. I'm talking about 5+ million refugees here, okay? You understand what I'm saying here? War. War. Not the soft economic sanctions and soft economic pressure. I'm talking about war. Libya, it was declared and conducted as a very atrocious, one-sided war. W-A-R. Biden, Clinton, Obama administration. The coup attempt in Turkey. Regime change, intervention. It is the word that Biden says he wants to reverse Trump's interventionist practices. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you really kidding me? I don't want to raise my voice here, but are you serious? Anybody who can look me in the eye and straightforward say that, oh yeah, this, please, please. Things with North Korea, that was handled. Yes, I'm against the sanctions against Iran and even Venezuela. We haven't had wars. In fact, we have ended the wars since the regime change took place here. Our Obama-Biden regime was replaced by President Trump's administration. And if you want to say make it equal, call it regime, I would say, okay, fine, regime. Between the two regimes, I haven't voted for either one. I'm independent. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not here to glorify President Trump. I am not here to tell you how to vote. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I have never done that. But I'm here to tell you about the facts. Facts that you can't dispute. Facts that are concrete on the ground. And those facts say Joe Biden is your mega, just like Obama, is your mega interventionist, that Joe Biden is your hawks of all hawks as far as track record is concerned. That's what I'm telling you. Whether you want to vote for this or that, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. But let's not mess with the facts. And let's not mess with this thing called relativism, okay? Let's not do that. It won't happen on my reporting analysis table. Let's put the facts no matter whose side they end up showing up, okay? Let's put them boldly, nakedly out there and then make decisions, whether you want to vote or not. And if you're voting, if you're gonna vote for X or Y or Z, I think both parties are corrupt, despicable. But in this world of everything being relative, and you compare Donald Trump to Obama or Joe Biden, and say in the category of interventionism, Trump will be scored 0 to 10, 2 because of the sanctions and the Venezuela and Bolivia. Let's put it 3. Joe Biden, Obama, in my book, in the book of facts would score 10 plus 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 plus. You want to argue against that? Be my guest, you're going to lose it. That's in that category. Now, I have to mention this. In my next episode, I'm going to talk about this major report that is so revealing. It was not surprising for me because I have been saying it for now 18 years, publicly, in every single interviews practically, but I'm going to get to that in my next episode on media. And why? Who are the people in this media and who are the people behind them putting these lies about Biden or Donald Trump or on Libya or Syria? I'm going to talk about that, and I'll have a great example. It's a major report, not surprising for me, but it may be, hopefully it will be, an eye-opener for those who are sleeping, those who are not seeing. I just don't know how that's possible, but obviously it is, because majority, the great majority, are on that boat. They don't see it. They don't know. Sometimes it's because they don't want to know. Now, with that said, I have to emphasize another fact about Joe Biden here. I have to emphasize it. I must emphasize it, okay? I have to do this publicly. I wish I had a forum out there in public. I'm not talking about YouTube, okay? I'm not going to go to the junkie land. No. Because the American people, I believe, majority of them do care about this. And they don't know because they haven't heard. They haven't been shown the facts, okay? What is that? And what qualifies me as the person who has the both expertise and the moral authority, okay, to say what I'm about to say here. Not to gloat, to say I have moral authority. You're going to see what I'm talking about. I want to talk about whistleblowers, government whistleblowers. Hey, I'm infamous for that, okay? Now, again, that's another fact you can't dispute, whether you want to go to Wikipedia or encyclopedia or whatever. Even the mainstream media, I have been established as the grandmother of all whistleblowers, okay? Anyhow, Obama administration, let me say it more accurately, Obama-Biden administration, that's a ticket, right? President and vice president. Obama and Biden administration had the worst record on government transparency and government whistleblowers of any president in the entire history of the United States of America. You don't believe me? You think this is an exaggeration? Go check, because I'm not in the business of exaggeration. No president in this country, in this 300 years, had ever jailed a government whistleblower. The closest we came was with the Pentagon Papers during Nixon, okay? It was when Daniel Ellsberg basically gave the documents to the New York Times and leaked the information that the government was lying on Vietnam War, etc. And he was taken to court by the administration of Nixon, okay? Nixon administration. But even then, he didn't end up in jail, okay? All right? Obama is the first president who actually jailed not one, not two, but more than 3-4 government truth tellers, whistleblowers. Go and check out John Kiriakou's record and how he went to jail, and he was put in a cell next to the rapists and child molesters and murderers. You know why? Because he did come forward and told the truth about our government engaging in torture. He actually exposed criminal deeds, operations by our government against not only human rights, it's wrong, morally wrong, legally wrong. And there are laws, including the Constitution under First Amendment, but let's forget about that for a second because, hey, it hasn't existed pretty much since 9/11. Under the law says whistleblowers can actually leak information if it exposes government criminality, waste, fraud, abuse, okay? Well, that's what he did. Obama sent him to jail. And then there were others. Biden-Obama administration, they had a war against Freedom of Information Act and government transparency, and most importantly, on whistleblowers. They were the ones who prevented approving my book from publication, and they said I will go to jail if I were to publish this book. It was their administration, Obama and Biden. Now, government whistleblowers. During George W. Bush, okay, and that's when we were all fired and threatened and had court cases, like my case was during George W. Bush, right? What did this same mainstream media, what did they do? They paraded us like dogs and ponies out there. Yes, that's what they did. During the election, how despicable was George W. Bush. These government heroes, truth tellers, Sibel Edmonds, okay, Colleen Rowley, go check the names. We were on the front pages of this magazine and that magazine as a group, as government whistleblowers, right? Because the mainstream media wanted to show the Americans, because Americans, no matter what, even uninformed ones, they care about integrity. How many people can you find say, no, I don't want transparency or integrity, right? So unlike war, this is actually more non-partisan issue, okay? They paraded us like monkeys. I was used. Dozens of us were used during the election season against George W. Bush. They wanted Americans to know, don't vote for George W. Bush. You know why? We tell you why. Look at these amazing warriors for truth. Oh God, all sorts of flowery languages out there for us. We were the hero. We were the greatest things ever. Momentarily for the election season. What? They've been fired. They have lost their livelihood, their career. They have been blah, blah, punished. So when you vote, think about these, okay? People in the United States, this is what mainstream media was saying, because this is so important for the elections. Well, then came Obama. And Obama did all the stuff that George W. Bush did and went about 100,000 miles beyond that. He actually persecuted, prosecuted, and jailed actual government truth tellers and whistleblowers. He and Biden, they brought the major assault, the biggest assault on the Freedom of Information Act. And you know what the media did? Nothing. It didn't happen. It's not happening. What? Where? Who? Which whistleblowers? What whistleblowers? And guess what? During the election season, nobody mentioned it in the media. No media. I'm talking about Washington Post, New York Times, NPR, CNN, Al Monitor, Al Jazeera, name them. Nobody mentioned. Nobody mentioned. No one mentioned Obama, Biden's track records during the presidential elections for Obama's second term, because they made it vanish, poof, gone. But they didn't with George W. Bush administration. You see what I'm talking about? They make facts disappear. They make lies turn into facts. And boy, do they market it nights and days and nights and days 24/7. And guess what? Unfortunately, they make it stick. So it's important for the Americans who are going to vote, the ones who want to go and vote out there, to know the facts. But those facts are not going to come from the mainstream media or the BS, Soros, or other interest-funded alternative, the so-called alternative media outlets. That's it for this episode. I hope I kept my pledge to myself that it's not way too long here for you. I have another brief episode talking about a very important report and how that is revealing as far as This same topic I'm talking about, media making the facts disappear, lies become facts, okay? I'm going to record that one as well. Hopefully I'll have that edited so these episodes are published back to back. With that, I want to thank you all, my amazing NewsBud community members, especially those of you who have been with me for years and years, for all your support, my Patreon communities, my new Patreon community, for your support, for your backing, for your encouragement. And I'll be with you with the next episode very soon.